All right, today I want to address one of the most misunderstood things about liquidity providing and yield farming, and it's a concept known as impermanent loss. And it's something that actually stops a lot of people from getting into yield farming because they just don't understand it properly. And today I'm going to share with you a tracker and a calculator that I created from my own yield farming activities to prove to you that impermanent loss is not something that you really should worry about as much as the hype out there that makes you think. Look, you can sit there and listen to other people and not pay attention to it, but you can get involved and start figuring out yourself whether or not impermanent loss is something to really worry about. And this one tool is going to show you that it's not that big of a deal as a lot of people talk about. So what you're seeing here is a calculator that I created because I couldn't find one myself. So basically I created one, and for example's sake, I'm just going to show you one, two, three, six different positions that I set up for liquidity providing. And I'm going to compare them to what the results would have been if I had just simply held the assets. Because that's what the concept of impermanent loss is. Impermanent loss basically says that when you provide liquidity, sometimes you could have been just better off just holding your assets by themselves rather than providing liquidity because you could have made more money just holding them. And yes, there are times where that does apply, but not always. A lot of people just think, oh, no, I'd rather just hold. No, that's bullshit. If you start providing liquidity and yield farming, you get to earn fees. And those fees that you earn are sometimes more than you would have lost due to impermanent loss. So you need to figure this out, and you need tools to do it. And this is a tool that I created that I give to my coaching students because this is a very important aspect to learn. I really teach people how to understand what they're doing. Don't just blindly get into yield farming because you can get rates of return of 100, 500, 1,000% a year. That's just stupid. You need to strategically do this, and you need proper tools. I couldn't find one of these tools, so I created it, okay, for my students. So what I'm going to show you is these three positions on Orca and these three positions on Uniswap that I set up. And what you can see on this tool is I put on here the total invested in the pool at the time that I invested in them as of this date. And then what I do is I compare what the value of these pools are right now as opposed to, let me move this up here, as opposed to what the value of the assets would have been if they were not in a liquidity pool, okay? And then I come up with a calculation and the difference. And here you can see, like some of these numbers are amazing, but I need to correct these because I haven't updated this from the last time. So these numbers will change, okay? So let's go through the process so you can see exactly how I do this. So the first pair that I'm going to look at is Sol and USDC. Now, impermanent loss does affect stablecoin pairs worse, just because one of these assets doesn't move up in price. But I'll share with you exactly how that works. So here is another. Here's my Sol and USDC pair, and currently the value is 21.2840. Now, one thing that you need to keep note of here is I'm out of range here, which means I actually haven't been earning fees for a little while because the price of Sol just dropped. I was in a range of 170 to 235. Sol is now at 151. So I haven't actually been collecting fees, so I need to readjust this so I can up these fees that I'm earning. But let's just do this. 21.2840 and $64.30 in fees, okay? So remember those numbers. So let's come in here, and I need to adjust this bright green stuff. This is the one I need to adjust. So 21, what was it? 21.2840. Oops. Okay, hold on. 21.2840. And I have how much in fees to collect? I think it's 64, right? 64.30. Okay? 64.30. 30. Okay. So now, my current value of the pool is 2128 plus this, because I can take these fees and add it back into the pool. So hypothetically, if I take these fees and add it to the pool, I'll have a total value of 2192. Okay? Now, here is the deal. Check this out. If I just owned Solana and wasn't using it to create fees, I would currently have a value of 2174. Guess what? I'm better off having provided liquidity for Solana and USDC pair by $17. So I made $17 more in this pool because I provided liquidity as opposed to just holding it. So just for shits and giggles, what percentage is that? Let me figure out the calculation. I'll put it right here. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. All right, so the calculation that I put in here, this is something new that I'm doing. Percentage of better returns than HODL crypto investors, okay? So basically what I'm doing is trying to figure out how much better I'm doing because of the fact that I'm liquidity providing. And the formula is just going to be basically this divided by this. So in this scenario, I improved my returns by 0.81%. Okay, so almost 1%. Then I'm doing better than any other HODL crypto investors who are just basically simply holding Solana. Okay, in this scenario. All right, so that's that first example. Now let's look at some other ones. Let's look at Render and Sol. Okay, so 1167 and 11.8. Okay, so let's go here. Render and Sol. What's the number here? 11.8 and 1167. 11.8, 1167, 71, right? 71. All right, so if I take my fees and add it back into what my value right now, I'd have a total value of 1179. Here's the current prices of, Solana and Render. And check this out. If someone had just bought Solana and Render on April 2nd, which is the date I got into this pool, and they did nothing else with it, their value right now of what they're holding would be 1154.21 if they bought the same percentage that I had. Okay, and because I have been liquidity providing and taking the fees that I've been earning and adding them back into my pool and compounding my growth, I am better off than every other HODL investor by $25.30. So let's take this and bring this down. I increased my returns by 2.19% because of this skill that I know. Okay? Extremely important. Here's another one, Sol and Chat. Now, just bear in mind, not every time these work out. Like this one might not work out because I'm out of range. I haven't been collecting fees. So you have to be vigilant and you have to make sure that you're always continuing to collect fees. So 177 and 48 and 278. Let's see here. 177.78. So there it is. And 2.78. I think it was 177.5. 0.48. Yeah. Okay. 48. Here we go. All right. Now, there you go. See this one? In this scenario, because I haven't been paying attention, I'm down $64 because I'm kind of out of range and I haven't been paying attention to this small one. This was just a small position I got into, so I didn't really give a shit too much, to be honest with you. But look, it ended up biting me in the ass. Like, I would have been better off just holding Solana and Chat. Okay? So this is important to understand. Now let's do some other ones here. All right. Now this one, for some reason, it's not updating properly, so I had to manually kind of figure these out. But I'm going to put them in here so you can see. So I manually figured out my BNB position. And right now with BNB, I would have 32.6136. And the fees that I have to collect is 97.33. And in this scenario, look, I'm only off by like $5. So not a big deal. Impermanent loss hasn't killed me or anything like that. I'd have to double check to see why this is. I bet you, again, it's related to I wasn't vigilant and staying on top of. In order for this theory to really work and the strategy to really work, you have to be vigilant and make sure you're always collecting fees. If you get lackadaisical, then this doesn't work. But as long as you maintain and keep collecting fees, it will work. Let's go to Nakamoto and Matic. All right, so let me go to Naka and Matic. I gotta go switch chains. I'm just gonna pause this while this is happening. All right, so I successfully switched chains, and now you can see the pools that I have in the Polygon chain. Naka and Matic. 20.95 is the value, and 131.28 in fees. Okay, so 20.95. So let's go 20.95 and 130 in fees. So check this one out. I'm better off $105 because I got into this pool. So I increased my returns 5% more than people just simply buying Naka and Matic because I have the skill of being able to collect fees. So this turned out to be awesome here. Let's do this last one, Matic and Render. Back to pool, Matic and Render, 22.41.28. 22.41.48. And the fees are 33.66. 33.66. So 28. Here we go. I am better off by $17 because I was liquidity providing. Okay? So I'm doing 1% better than other people who were just simply holding Matic and Render. And this proves to you that impermanent loss is not something you need to really worry about. Now, I'll be honest with you. I know it sucks, but hey, listen, I'm being transparent and real with you. In this scenario, in these red numbers, I would have been better off just holding BNB and Near on its own, only by $5. And this one really got me. I've lost $64 because of being in this liquidity pool, but I know why that is, because I wasn't paying attention to this pool. By letting it stay out of range as long as I did, it means I'm not capitalizing on my fees. Check this one out. This one's also out of range. I didn't do an analysis on this one. But look at this. I earned $49 and I only have like 152 invested in this. Okay? Anyway, look, this tells you, and this proves to you how powerful liquidity providing can be if you have the right tools in place to do it. And I hope you seeing this analysis and this calculation helps you kind of understand that impermanent loss isn't something that you have to be worried about as much. Yes, you got to pay attention to it, but it should not stop you from exploring this amazing opportunity of liquidity providing to earn daily fees. I hope this helped.